Good afternoon. My name is Alex from Swoosh English, and in today's class, we are going to be looking at writing. So hello to all of you today who are watching live in the chat. I hope you're having a good day so far, and I hope you'll get involved in the class today that we're doing. I'm going to be looking at an example of writing from a candidate in relation to the OET writing task, and we're going to be looking at some elements which could be improved in order to go from what would be in the exam a C+ to an A. That's what we're focusing on. So if you're here watching this class in the chat, hello to you. If you've got questions that come up during the class today, please let me know, and I'll do my best to respond to them. Yeah, I hope you find the class today useful, and I hope we get some good tips out of it. So what I'll do in the class today, just to give a quick overview, is I will look at, first of all, the OET writing task, which I'm sure many of you will be familiar with, and I will then look at a set of case notes. Sort of very quickly, we will have a look at those, and then we will have a look at a candidate response, which will be graded at C+, and then finally we will look at ways to improve it so that we could get that up to an A. We'll look at a model answer, which would be graded at an A. So just having a quick look then to see who's here. I can see we've got Shahana is here. She shared the video. Thanks for that, Shahana. Michael is here as well. Hi, Michael. Rosa, hi Rosa, from Manchester, or who's in Manchester. I'm in Nottingham at the moment. The sun is shining. It's a beautiful day. So hopefully we'll have a good time. I've got Thierry as well, who has also shared the video. So thanks for that. That's absolutely great. So do get involved. As I say, as I go through this class, I'll be asking a few questions. So please do answer. And we can make this as interactive as possible. Okay, so let me just start sharing some of the materials today, and then we'll get going. And also, anyone else in the class as well, please let me know you're here. Oh, I can see a few people actually as well. Sard is here. Hi, Sard. Archangel, wonderful name. Hello, Archangel. I hope that you're all having a great afternoon so far. Okay. So just give me one moment, and we'll start having a look at some materials. Okay. Okay, so here we are then. So we can see improving written performance in the OET. Can you all see that? Can you all see the screen that I've shared with you? Please say yes in the chat if you can see the screen that I've shared. Just so I know that we're all on the same page. A lot more attendees now coming in. That's great. I can see Sagar. I can see Tayaba, Rob. That's fantastic. Who else is coming in? Mosamat, Priyanka. Great. Okay, so you're all saying yes. Geda, you're all saying yes, that you can see the screen. That's fantastic. So in that case, we can kick off then with the class. So here we are, improving written performance in the OET. So as I've said, in this class, we'll be analyzing an OET letter and also showing ways in which it could be improved. And also, we will look at a model answer to a set of official OET case notes. So that's what we're going to be doing in the class today.
Hi, Alexander, and hello to everybody. Great to see so many people in the class. And Alexander, we've had a lot of requests for this kind of lesson from students. So it's great that we are going to be analysing an OET letter today. Let's see what comments other people are saying on Facebook before Alexander gets started. So I will tell you if we get any questions on Facebook Live as well, Alex. And
Perfect.
I know we've got students here on Zoom. One of our VIP students, Dr. Nonya, is watching. Great to see you, Dr. Nonya. But yeah, feel free to go ahead with the class. And I will say very, very soon, I will be telling you about our brand new Swoosh English, how we're going to be helping not just thousands of students as we've been doing before, but we want to be really growing to tens of thousands, even hundreds of thousands for IELTS and OET moving forward. So I'll be telling you more about how we can help you more so moving forward with more mock exams, more live classes, more writing support, more lesson recordings, all of the things that you need in order to pass your exam. I'll be telling you a little bit more about how we can help you later on. So keep sharing today's Facebook Live video, even if you're in the Zoom class, and you'll be able to get some of our free resources. So I'll pass you back over to Alexander.
Okay, it all sounds really exciting, doesn't it? Okay, so it's great that we've had requests for this kind of class. In that case, this is going to be, I'm sure, particularly useful. It's something you've identified, you want to improve in, and so let's have a look at some tips to help us to do that. Okay, so here we are then. As I said, so we're going to look at an OET letter and look at ways it could be improved, and also look at a model answer based on an official set of OET case notes. So just a quick review of the writing task to begin with, for those of you who might be a little bit newer to the OET. For the writing task, of course, you have to write either a referral or a discharge letter. And in the task, you'll have 5 minutes to read the case notes, and you'll have 40 minutes to write your response. You're advised to write between 180 to 200 words, but that's flexible. Okay, so it could be a little bit more, could be a little bit less, but that's the guideline in terms of what you're advised to write. And the assessment of the letter is based on 5 criteria. Each of those criteria scored out of 6. So the first question that I would like to ask you today then is, what are those criteria? For those of you who have written OET letters, maybe posted them to the Facebook group, I can see that some of you definitely have. I can see, for example, just looking here, there are some names that I recognize. Wilson, Junior Dr. Wilson, I can see that you, there's some letters that I've looked at from you and others as well who have written letters for the OET Facebook group. What are the criteria? If you can't name all 5, just give me one. What are the things that you are going to be graded on in the OET writing? So let's see if we've got any responses. Great. So Dr. Nonye, hi to you, Dr. Nonye. So Saad is saying grammar. Okay, absolutely. Grammar is something that you will be graded on. Grammar, sentences, well, things like sentence structure, word order would be a part of grammar. Lois says grammar and lexical structure. So definitely, yeah, lexis is something that you are going to be graded on. Your use of vocabulary is an important aspect of the OET. Coherence and cohesion, says Archangel. Yes, absolutely. Tayaba, relevant case notes. Yeah, that's a really important point. So the content of your letter is not just about using correct grammar, using correct vocabulary. The content as well is something which is graded, and you need to make sure that you're using appropriate and accurate content. Combining relevant case notes, yep, definitely. Letter format, yeah, format is something which is graded. Wilson saying linguistic features, very good. That's actually the official name of one of the criterion. So really good there, Wilson. Okay, fantastic. So some great suggestions here. Together, we've covered most of the main criteria. Michael saying linguistic features as well, absolutely. So we've covered most of the main criteria, but there are some official names. So let's have a quick look at these then. So the first criterion is overall task fulfillment. So this deals with things basically such as selecting the appropriate case notes and writing an appropriate number of words. So not making your letter too long or not having it too short. And also making sure that you have basically selected the relevant information from the case notes. So that's the criterion for overall task fulfillment. Appropriateness of language. So this is something that I don't think we mentioned directly. Appropriateness of language looks at things like register. So when you're writing the OET letter, it should be a formal letter. And because it's a formal letter, we should be using formal language. So we shouldn't be using very colloquial expressions, slang expressions. We shouldn't be using colloquial abbreviations. We might use technical medical abbreviations if appropriate, but we shouldn't be using any informal language. So that means generally contractions. We would avoid contractions usually because that's a feature of informal writing as opposed to formal writing. We would also, things like numbers, when we're writing small numbers, we would tend to write them as words rather than as numbers, generally speaking. Again, that's another feature of formal writing. So, and also finally, things like phrasal verbs. So for example, we wouldn't say, I called up the patient. To call up is a phrasal verb, and it's quite informal. We would say, I contacted the patient, in this case, using a more formal version. So that's a really important thing to bear in mind, making sure we use appropriate language. It should be formal. If we're writing to another medical professional, then we can use certain medical abbreviations. If we're writing directly to a parent or carer or someone who is a non-medical specialist, then we need to make sure that we're not using overly technical language. So that also comes under appropriateness of language. Comprehension of stimulus. So basically this shows the extent to which you understood the case notes. So did you demonstrate an understanding of what was written in the case notes? Were you able to make sense of the information? Were you able to link relevant aspects of the case notes together? So this is kind of testing your medical background here. To an extent, but also it's testing your linguistic knowledge as well, because part of comprehension clearly will relate to your ability to understand the language used in the case note. So you've got a mixture there of the medical and the linguistic in terms of your comprehension. Linguistic features, a lot of people mention this, so the grammar, the cohesion, the syntax in terms of word order. Did you use the correct tense? Did you use articles correctly? These are the things which come up so often in writing, and these all come under linguistic features. And finally, we have the presentation features, which relate to spelling, punctuation, and layout. So using vocabulary, obviously in terms of spelling, using that correctly. Layout in terms of, does it look like a letter? So some of you were mentioning that it has to look like a letter. So you would have your date at the beginning, dear, Mr., Mrs., whoever it is, and then a reference to the patient, RE, date of birth. At the end, yours sincerely or yours faithfully. So these are all the layout aspects in terms of making sure that actually you've dealt with the task and that it looks like a letter. So well done to those of you who got some of these criteria. For those who are less sure about it, it's a good idea to have a working knowledge of the criteria in your mind, because then as you're writing your letter, you can check and say, okay, have I dealt with the task? Have I written an appropriate number of words? Am I using appropriate language? Have I checked to make sure that my letter is laid out in the correct format? So you can have a mental checklist in your mind to make sure that you have achieved these criteria as best as you possibly can. So let's move on to actually have a look now then at case notes. So I've just put these up here. Don't worry about reading all of the case notes. Some of you who have done a lot of writing on the OET group might recognize this. This is, the patient is Monica Osborne, 69 years old, divorced. So we have some information here about the patient, and you will get this, of course, with all of the OET writing tasks. You'll have case notes that you have to look at and write a letter in response to. So if you recognize these case notes, you're going to be quite familiar with this. If not, don't worry so much. This is just to demonstrate the fact that this is what you're going to see for the OET. You'll see a set of case notes. Certain information such as, their social background, one daughter, married, divorced, that's a social background, obviously her age, her name. You'll also have information about her medical background, hypertension, depression, and it will tell you at the start of the case notes as well, basically what her current medical situation is. So here, Mrs. Osborne is, or Ms. Osborne, sorry, is an elderly patient on the Newport Community Health Center, and you are the attending nurse. So that's your role. You're the attending nurse. So this is an OET letter which will be for nurses. If you're doctors watching this, this class is going to be just as relevant to you as well, because things like the grammar and the lexical resource and comprehension of stimulus, these things, the criteria are always the same, irrespective of what your medical profession is. So it just so happens that this is a nurse letter, but doctors, do not be disheartened. What we're going to look at today is going to be very, very relevant as well for you guys. And obviously we're looking at the nursing management as well, that's included here, a regular monitoring by a community nurse, and then we've got a discharge plan as well, establish contact with medical practitioner after move, monitor medication compliance, alcohol intake and diet, and encourage expansion of family and social activities. So the discharge plan here is really important because Ms. Osborne is obviously, this is a discharge letter. She's being discharged from the Newport Community Health Centre. You're the attending nurse. It's your job then to provide information about the patient so that the medical service that will be taking over her care will have a good knowledge, a good background knowledge of her medical situation, and will be able to offer care appropriately. So let's have a quick look at the task. So those are the case notes. And next we can see the task. So we have to read the task really carefully. It says, using the information in the case notes, write a referral letter to the community nurse, community health center, Woodville, that's the address, outlining relevant information and requesting continued care. So she's being discharged then from the community health center, but she's being referred to Woodville. So obviously the medical staff at Woodville will need to know what sort of care they need to provide. So it will always give you these instructions as well. Just at the bottom, you have to expand the relevant notes into complete sentences. You should not use note form. You have to use full sentences and use the letter format. The body of the letter should be approximately 180 to 200 words. Okay, so that's the background. That's the case. That's the task. So let's have a look now then at a sample response. So this response would be graded at around a C+. So let's have a look and see what we think. So here is the first part of the letter. So I just want to give you an opportunity in the chat and here in the class to read this first part of the letter. Can you see anything that you would change? Thinking about those criteria. Is the language appropriate? Is the letter format appropriate? Are there any issues with spelling? Are there any issues with grammar, cohesion? Have a quick look. I'm just going to give you a couple of minutes to read the first two paragraphs. And then in the chat box, I want you to give me your feedback. What do you think in terms of this letter? Any changes that you would make? Any ways we could improve it? Remember, this is a C+, it's not an A. So can you recognize from these first two paragraphs why this is a C+ as opposed to an A? So I'll give you a few moments to have a look and then let me know what you think. And obviously I'll be looking at your comments as you respond. Okay. So for all of you there watching this class live, say it's a great opportunity to get involved and to give some feedback. Okay, so great. We've got some comments coming in. So Saad is saying the layout is not there. So could you be a bit more specific, Saad? What do you mean about the layout? Okay, there's no name to whom this letter is addressed. There's no name to the letter. It says, Dear Sir, Madame. So I think, yeah, in this case, though, looking at the case notes, we didn't know the name of the person to whom we were writing. We can just double check that just to make sure. It says, use the case notes, write a letter to the institution. So we're writing a letter to Woodville, but we don't know exactly to whom we're writing this letter. As a result, what the person has done actually here is completely correct. She has said, or he, could be a he or a she, has said, Dear Sir, Madame, because we don't know the name of the person we're writing to. So actually that's fine in this case.
Hi, Alexander. Okay. I've got some people on Facebook here. Rosa Diaz saying punctuation. Michael saying that the person who wrote that letter shouldn't use layman's terms. Punctuation, Annie. Irrelevant information is in the letter, said Somil Raj. Wilson said focus on one main concern. So lots and lots of comments coming through from people. Thank you very much. Keep them coming. And also I should say, if you want to get today's free mini OET mock exam for reading and listening, make sure you share today's video to your Facebook page, step 1, and then step 2, right underneath this video, I have shared the OET live class video, and you will get access to your free OET reading and listening mock exam. So like I said, share it to your Facebook page, and step 2, right underneath, I have shared the OET live class video. Keep the comments coming. Rowan has just shared it. Thank you very much, Rowan. So we want to spread the message to other students about what it takes to write a grade A or grade B letter in this free class today. So if you can share it, then you will get a free mini mock exam when you do that.
Okay, so great incentive there to get involved. Yeah, great to see some of your comments there that Alex has mentioned. So yeah, let's bear in mind, in terms of, I'm seeing a lot of comments in relation to the actual overall task response. So the purpose of the letter is not clear. Well, the purpose of the letter, remember, is to basically refer the patient from one healthcare provider to another healthcare provider. So in the UK, if this was the UK, for example, we would have a doctor who would be a local doctor, a community doctor, who would have responsibility for this patient, but the patient is actually moving to another city, another area within the country. So now they require that assistance from a different community healthcare practice. Excuse me. Sorry. Okay, so I think that is quite clearly expressed. If we look at that first paragraph, I'm writing to refer Ms. Osborne, a 69-year-old who is moving to Woodville and lives alone. She will continue care from your centre. Okay, so the second sentence here is a bit confusing, but the first one I think is quite clear. She's being referred from one centre to another centre. The date of discharge is not written. Okay, the date of discharge is not written. Maybe there could be a little bit more specific there. In this case notes, though, I'm not sure that it was specified either, because again, look at the overall context. It is a patient who's moving from one city to another city. Has that been finalized yet? If it has been finalized, that wasn't actually in the case notes, I don't believe. So I think, you know, in terms of content, we've got some good stuff in there. It's not perfect, but we have got some good stuff in there. Okay, date of discharge, yeah. So the purpose of the letter is missing. Well, the purpose is in terms of sort of, it could be expressed more clearly, actually. So Tayabi, I agree. The purpose could be a little bit clearer in that first paragraph. Full stop, not necessary after Mrs. Certainly, as a British convention, it's not necessary. An American convention is that you would use full stops after Mr. and Mrs. So it depends on which convention you're using, the British or the American. Let's have a look at some other comments. No need to write anti-hyperintensive and antidepressants. So I guess we're talking about the hyphen here. Yeah, again, this is a little bit of a stylistic thing. I've seen it written with a hyphen and not written with a hyphen. So absolutely, you could take out the hyphen, particularly for antidepressants and for anti-hyperintensive as well. Okay, so some really good comments there. Okay, good. So that was the first part of the letter then. Let's have a look at the next paragraph. And I want to do the same thing here. What do we think about this paragraph? Anything here that we could improve based on the criteria? So again, I'll give you a couple of minutes to have a look at it, and I'll be obviously reading your comments once you've read them and given some feedback. Just based on the other one, Shanjita said no need to mention age several times. That's true. Yep, if the age was mentioned more than once, that would be unnecessary. That's true. Although you could say the date of birth, and then in the main letter you could potentially mention the age. But yeah, generally you want to avoid unnecessary repetition of information. So what do we think then about the next paragraph? Okay. Really important point here made by Ratna. Is saying request for continued care not mentioned in the intro. So yeah, I think the person who wrote this was trying to express that, but I agree with you, Ratna. Yeah, it's not clear, is it, in that first paragraph? So yeah, that's an astute observation. Okay, so looking at this paragraph then, so her daughter sentence not necessary. Okay, so again, I mean, this is a little bit difficult because we didn't have that long to look at the case notes, but I think this was a relevant factor, actually, for those who are more familiar with the sort of Ms. Osborne. Yeah, the reason that she's moving from her current location to Woodville is to be close to her daughter. So I think this is important because it lets the community health centre know that she does have some social support. So she's not going to be isolated in Woodville. And also it provides a bit of context in terms of why the move is being made. So I think the writer has a logical reason for including the information about the daughter in this case. Let's see. For over 6 years. Yeah, so our client for over 6 years, for more than 6 years. That's what's being referred to here. So a period exceeding 6 years. Yeah. Let's see. Let's have a quick look at Facebook. No need for socially, says Michael. Yeah, I mean, possibly. Again, though, this is something which comes under organization. So in terms of how you structure your response. And ultimately, if you do have these sort of what would be known as kind of like topic sentences, it helps to provide a little bit more cohesion. So obviously grammar and cohesion, one of the things that you are graded on. So if you see right at the beginning of the paragraph, socially, it's like, okay, great, I'm going to get the social history now. This is actually something that the OET has said is very important because it helps with information retrieval. So imagine that you are a healthcare professional, you're reading a letter, and there's some information you want immediately. Let's say you want, okay, I want to know what the social situation is of this patient. If you see right at the beginning of that paragraph, it says socially, like great, fantastic, I know that's going to tell me all about her social situation. So it can actually be good to use these sorts of phrases and words at the beginning of paragraphs because it really helps for information retrieval. Okay, Ratner, the tense was wrong for over 6 years. It has to present perfect progressive. Okay, let's have a quick look at this one then, Ratner. Was our client for over 6 years? There is a little bit of debate here. So is she still the client? She's being transferred. I think I tend to agree with you again, Ratner. I think you could say Ms. Osborne has been our client for over 6 years, possibly because the transfer hasn't yet happened for her to go to Woodville. So I think you make a good argument there. We could change the tense in this case, but also you could use the past simple to indicate that a change is happening. The reason for this letter is that the patient will be moving. So yeah, I think that's a good point. Seema agrees with that. Present perfect. Yeah. For has been better. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So there definitely are some grammatical errors here, aren't there? Okay. So great feedback again. Really good comments. Finally, then, the final part of the letter. What do we think about the way that this person has finished their letter? Any comments there? I'll take a quick sip of water in my throat. Okay, so again, take a few moments just to read it and see what you think. Is this a good way to finish this kind of letter where the patient is being discharged from one service, referred to a new community centre? Do you think that this is appropriate? Are there any grammatical mistakes, any spelling errors? What do we think for this final part of the letter? Okay, so I can see some people are just joining the chat. So Noreen says, hi, Alex. Hi to you, Noreen. I hope you're having a good day so far. Get involved. Tell me what you think. Do you think that this letter has any errors, anything that could be improved? Let me know what you think. Okay. So let's see. So we had a few comments just come in here then. So, okay, so Seema saying, I would appreciate, we could use, let's, instead of it would be greatly appreciated. Okay, Seema, good. I'm glad that you raised that, because if you look at the structure, it would be greatly appreciated is an example of the passive voice. And the passive voice is a common feature in formal writing. So actually, this is a really nice phrase to use. We could use the passive voice here. It would be greatly appreciated. It's also, as well, a very polite structure, using would as the modal verb. So it's quite a complex structure as well. So as well as being appropriate in terms of using formal language, it also shows grammatical variety as well. So I think that's a good one to use there. It's not wrong to say I would appreciate, Seema, but consider using this phrase as well. That's actually quite a nice phrase. Two different sentences combined with and, not appropriate. Okay, so maybe we could do a bit more on cohesion there then, Sagad. That's a fair comment. Yeah, it could be improved in terms of cohesion. Administrated, her medications need to be administrated. Yeah, so you can administrate a medication. You know, other verbs we could use for medication: prescribed, you know, need to be delivered, provided. There are a few different verbs we could use with medication. Tayaba thinks a comma, so maybe punctuation improvements for her medication assistance. Yeah, so there's a few different ways in which we could express things. I agree with that. I'm just having a look. There's a couple of questions here. Ulme is asking about dentistry referral letter, how to write a dentistry referral letter. Well, we're focusing, so to be honest, what I would say here, Ulme, is that there's a lot of things here that you can take, that you could use with dentistry as well. In terms of the grammar, in terms of the structure, in terms of the layout, it should be the same format, the same layout, the same word count. So there's a lot of things you can use here for dentistry as well, Ulme. Tayaba has a question. Is it a good way to write the name of the patient in the start of every paragraph, or should we avoid it? Very good question. My response to that is try to vary it a little bit. So it's a good idea. Obviously, you're constantly referring to the patient, but you can refer to the patient, obviously, using her title, Ms. Osborne in this case. You can also refer to the patient just using she. Once you've established who the patient is, we can use she. We can also use the patient as well. So those are the three main ways we're going to refer to the patient in the letter. Okay, so some fantastic comments. Let me just have a quick look on the Facebook group just to see what we've got here. So Rosa Diaz is saying commenced. So maybe we could use commenced, and that's a nice one. Thank you for taking care of the case. Doesn't look specific. So it says Walter. So Walter would like it to maybe be a little bit more specific in this case. Yeah, I think this is just kind of, you know, at the end, you've already been specific. You've mentioned what the requests are, you know, to introduce a medical practitioner and medications, and about, you know, sort of taking care of a diet. And then at the end, it's just a way just to basically say thank you to the doctor. You know, thank you for your management of this case. So this is just a way to sort of politely, formally end your letter, in this case, Walter. So there are good things about this letter. Remember, it is a C+. It's not far from a pass. It's almost a B, but there are things that can be improved as well. Okay. So yeah, Ross is saying in the first paragraph we could have used commenced in this case. Yeah. Okay. If she could be commenced with a medical practitioner, possibly. Yeah, we could use that if that's what you're saying, Rosa. Okay. So. We're going to look at some comments now. So these are some comments that I made in relation to this letter in order to give some general feedback. So you can see here my comments. So the letter covers the main points from the case notes and is appropriately concise, although it does reach almost 240 words. So it does go over the word count. So remember the recommendation is 180 to 200. This was almost 240. That's not the end of the world. It's not the worst thing to reach 240 words, but if she could have been more concise, that would have been an improvement for the letter. There are some errors to review in verb forms and omitted grammatical vocabulary. Elements of cohesion are used but could be further developed. Some expressions may also be misleading. So in the first paragraph, continue care may mean that she is staying with her previous facility. So that's actually a really important point. And let's just quickly go back to that, because that could be very confusing for the person who's reading this letter. And I think that's why some of you were saying she didn't address the main case. So if we have a look at it here, she says, she will continue care from your center. Okay, so yes, so her care will now be administered or provided by this new center. And I think she should have changed the way she expressed that, because that could have been confusing. So those were my general comments in relation to this letter and ways in which it could have been improved. What I'm going to have a look at now are some specific corrections that were made for this letter. So here are some specific points. Okay, so first of all, a really important one, and we didn't pick up on this actually, but maybe because we didn't have that long to look at the case notes, but there was an inconsistency. So in the case note, she was referred to as Ms. Monica Osborne because she's divorced. Remember, that's her social history. But in the first paragraph, actually the writer of the letter called her Mrs. So that's something to be really careful about. Make sure we're using the correct title for the patient, because that is basically an element of using the case notes appropriately, isn't it? You know, the overall task fulfillment. Are we including accurate information? So that was the first point. The next point, so she will continue care from your center. It would have been much clearer to have rephrased this. And an example I gave here is she will require care from your center. So it doesn't create any confusion in terms of the situation continuing from now to the future. Basically, she requires care from your center. She hasn't had care from your center before, so this needs to be commenced. And here were some grammatical corrections. The amount of alcohol she consumes, so she missed that. I'm adding in grammatical information here, will significantly increase when she feels anxious, as well as this. So again, using a grammatical reference term, she has periodic problems with the self-administration of medications. In this case, it says the medication. It'd probably be better actually to say of her medication to avoid the repetition of the in this case. Her daughter has requested her move to Woodville. So in this case, move being used as a noun. She said her moving. So that was a grammatical point there, because they will live closely by. She said they will live closely. That doesn't sound quite natural. It's a bit of an unnatural expression. Will live close by would be a more natural way to express this. She says, due to a new resident of Woodville, we need here a gerund form, a gerund verb form. So it's due to being a new resident of Woodville is what we need here. She does not have any friends in the new place, not a new place, the, because we're referring to a specific place, the new place that she's moving to. And to be honest, even place is probably a little bit informal here. So the new area would be more formal and more appropriate. Final points, in order to prevent her mental condition, she said will get worse. In this case, no, it's getting worse. To prevent something happening, we need to use a gerund form again. So it's not will get, but getting worse is what we need to use. And then finally, there's a point on word order. So it said, would be greatly appreciated if you could introduce a mental practitioner to her. A more natural word order would be, it would be greatly appreciated if you could introduce her to a medical practitioner. So that would have been grammatically more correct to have expressed it in that case using that word order. Okay. So those were the corrections that I made and the specific errors that I referred to. So the final part of the class we're going to look at now then is a model answer. Okay, so this is correcting some of the errors to change this from a C+ to an A. Now, in order to get an A, we need to be hitting all of those criteria. We need to be scoring well in all of those criteria, really well in all those criteria. So we need to make sure that our grammar is correct, that we're using a variety of cohesive devices, we're demonstrating our understanding of the case notes, and that we're using an appropriate format. So first of all, you can see, Dear Sir, Madame, as before, because we don't know the exact name of the person we're writing to. RE, Ms. Monica Osborne, so Ms. this time, not Mrs. And we've got her age, aged 69. So we have that information. So we've used the aforementioned patient. So we're not repeating the name in the first paragraph, who's been suffering from hypertension and depression for the last 10 years. She is in the process of moving to Woodville and therefore requires your ongoing care and support. So I hope we can agree, particularly with that second sentence there, it's much clearer that the patient is is moving from one center to another center. She's moving to Woodville, therefore, using the cohesion requires your ongoing care and support. So I think that sentence just makes it much clearer that she's moving and will need care from a new health center. Regarding her medical history, so, indicating now we're looking at medical history, and it's important to know the medical history because this is the center which is going to be taking over her care, so they need to know what her medical history is. Ms. Osborne has been controlling her conditions with hyperintensives and antidepressants. So we've got the hyphen again. We could use the hyphen. We could get rid of the hyphen. Both stylistically can be used. However, she's been having periodic problems with the self-administration of these drugs. Consequently, again with cohesion, she's been monitored by the community nurse at our practice in order to help to ensure her compliance. Okay, so you can see here there's much more use of the present perfect. There's a present perfect passive. She's been monitored by, in this case, and the present perfect is being used because I think in relation to comments that were made before by some of you in the chat and in the Facebook group, you were saying, well, I think you should be using more of the present perfect because we're talking about something that began in the past and is continuing now. I agree. That's why much more present perfect is being used in this case. Ms. Osborne's been controlling her condition, so that's the present perfect continuous or present perfect progressive being used in this case. So a variety of grammatical structures being used. In the second part of the model answer, socially, so we've still got that socially just to really let the reader know exactly what the paragraph is focusing on. Remember that information retrieval, making that clear. Ms. Osborne is divorced and currently lives alone in a rental flat in Newport. She is a daughter who lives in Woodville, which is the reason for Miss Osborne's relocation. So remember, so the daughter is important because that is providing the context as to why Ms. Osborne is moving. It shows she has some social support in Woodville, and so that's something that the medical practice will want to know. They'll want to know that there is some care that's being provided by the support she has from her daughter. In addition, she is alcohol dependent, a condition which is exacerbated when experiencing anxiety. So you can see that cohesion, in addition, is there to add to information that's added before. She's alcohol dependent, and this is a condition exacerbated. So a use there of less common vocabulary, but it's formal vocabulary. Exacerbated means it gets worse when experiencing anxiety. Finally, based on the above, it would be greatly appreciated if you could help the patient with her medication compliance and monitor her diet and alcohol intake. So intake being used, again, a formal word, very much used in a medical context. Could you also kindly arrange her placement with a GP as soon as she has moved to Woodville? Lastly, it would be appreciated if you could guide her in becoming socially involved in her new community. If you have any queries, please do not hesitate to contact me. Yours faithfully, nurse. Okay, so all the information is being expressed there. They're very similar to the information with the C+, but I hope you can see that the use of vocabulary is more advanced, the use of grammar is more accurate, the use of cohesive devices is more varied. So it's not just the same cohesive devices, the variety. Consequently, in addition, however, therefore, the use of punctuation as well. We've got the semicolon before however, followed by the comma. And also, because of the fact that the letter is more cohesive, because of the fact that the information is linked more successfully, the letter is actually shorter as well. So instead of being just under 240 words, it's now just under 220 words. So it's a little bit closer as well to that recommended word count. So this is something to have a look at. Have a look at this again. For those of you watching this live, have a look at it again to sort of see the comparison between the first letter, the C+ letter, and the corrected letter, which is the A letter, and look and make those comparisons. Have a look at your own writing. Are you using a variety of cohesive devices? Are you making sure you're completely accurate with using the titles of patients and this sort of information? Is there an opportunity there to use some of the vocabulary that's been used in this model answer in your own writing? Can we use exacerbated instead of getting worse? Can we use alcohol intake instead of talking about, drinking this much alcohol? There are some good phrases here that we can use, which can help to make our letters more concise, so we're not writing too many words, and can also demonstrate a higher level in terms of vocabulary and grammar. Okay, so that's the main focus of the class today. I hope that you have found it useful. I'll just see if there's any questions. Why we use, okay, so Ume's asking about the previous one. Why do we use the new place? Can we use a new place? In the context of this letter, Ume, we can't use a new place because and if any of you were watching my class yesterday on articles, you will know this. If you use a, you're talking about something which is general. It's not specific. So a new place, it could be anywhere. We're not being specific. But in this case, we're talking about a specific place, which is Woodville. So we say the new place. So yeah, we have to use the when we're talking about a specific noun. In this case, the place is new, so we need to use the rather than in this case. But that was a good question. Okay. So
hi, Alexander. I don't think we've got any more questions coming through. Please let us know if the class was helpful today. I think it was very, very beneficial, judging by the comments and questions and the things that people were saying about it, because this is especially a difficult area for nurses and doctors. A lot of nurses and doctors are taking the exam again and again and again, and they're getting C's and C pluses, and they're getting B's in the reading, the speaking, and the listening, but not in the writing. They're getting a C or a C plus. So Sagar Parmar says yes, definitely beneficial. It was helpful. Lots of people, I'm sure, who will write on Facebook as well. And if you've got any additional questions as well, please let us know, because Alexander and I will be sticking around for anything that you have got to ask. We want to support you as much as we possibly can. Okay, so please let us know about that. And I'm very excited today because this is a brand new Swoosh. Okay, we're helping people, students, doctors, nurses all over the world for over 5.5 years now. And we love helping medical professionals to pass their examination. We have been thinking for months and months now, how can we really increase the amount of support that we give to doctors and nurses? So at the moment, we're helping thousands of doctors and nurses in these free classes, in our paid classes, and our video courses, our practice mock exams. But we want to increase the support, so we want to be helping tens of thousands, and in the future, hopefully hundreds of thousands of doctors and nurses to pass. And a lot of the comments that you provided before, you wanted more practice mock exams, more writing corrections, you wanted more video courses, more exercises, more live classes. Well, we have listened to what you've been saying, and we've put together some new packages that are a lot more affordable as well, because a lot of doctors and nurses said that our packages were too expensive. So we've got packages now that we've put together for you. Been working very hard to put together, and they're only starting from $49, and you only pay once for the course packages, and they include things like the practice mock exams, the video courses, model answers like Alexander showed today, the corrected letters, previous live lesson recordings. We've got all of it there for you in order to pass your examination. So instead of being frustrated and struggling with low quality YouTube videos of different teachers saying this, that, and the other, you can just follow Swoosh English, and you can see the level of detail and the quality that we've provided today. And this is what we are going to provide you in our courses. So I am going to put the links for them in there in the chat box. Lots of people saying this class was really useful, really helpful, and I learned important new points. Thanks a lot, Alex and Alexander. You're very, very welcome. Thank you. It was really a helpful class, said Tayaba. That's great. Okay. So I have put the packages in there. I'll quickly be showing you what it looks like. Lots of people saying, yes, it was beneficial. Wilson's one of our VIP students. He said, a generous effort, beneficial indeed. You're very welcome. Thanks, said Rosa. Beneficial, said Shanjida. Chona said beneficial as well. Your support is greatly appreciated, said Robin. I'm very, very glad about that. And we can continue to support you as much as possible. So I'm just going to quickly show you our brand new packages. So I'm just going to share screen with you. Okay, and okay, you can see my screen now. So this is what I said to you about wanting us to give you more support, more resources, more materials that can help you to pass as quickly as possible. So you can, if I scroll all the way down here, I was talking before, the live classes, the bonus classes, unlimited corrections, study partners, model letters, practice mock exams. We're actually putting 2 more practice mock exams together right now. So we'll have 8 in total. And I'm also really excited to announce, if you've not already heard, that Swoosh English is now an OET premium preparation provider. So that means that we have been accredited by the OET as being a high quality teaching company and high quality teaching school provider, whatever you want to call it, to help students to pass their examination. So we went through a rigorous process that the OET set up to make sure that we can give good quality support to you to pass as quickly as possible. So you can have a look at these in your own time, but you can see that the packages, they start from $49. And these are introductory prices, so I don't know how long we're going to have these available. So you can see the 2 introductory packages that we've included here, and we've updated our other packages as well. So if you're looking for a lot of support, intensive support, then we've got this package down here, which is the VIP package. So the starter package, for example, for those students who are looking for affordable support from Swoosh English, you can see that we give a lot of support here, like our video courses for reading, writing, listening, speaking, and we give a model writing answer course as well. Our OET exam readiness test to let you know whether you should go ahead and book your exam or not. We've got a bank of corrected letters to show you how you can improve from a grade C, C+, all the way to an A. Then we've got our reading and listening mock exams, speaking and writing mock exams. We've got live lesson recordings as well, over 30 hours for reading, listening, writing, and speaking. And then you can see our other packages as well. So like I said, we wanted to make the Swoosh English support that we can provide you more affordable so that you can pass as quickly as possible, no matter where you are in the world. Are you in India, the Philippines, the Middle East, South America, Europe, you're in the UK, right here where I am in London, wherever you might be around the world, Swoosh English is here, and we're going to look after you to pass your examination. So that's basically it from me and Alexander today. Thank you so much. If you've got more questions, please let us know in the chat box. I'm going to answer any questions that people have got inside the free class right now. So all the people on Facebook, if you've got any more questions, just put them in the chat box. But if you're in Zoom and you want to ask me any questions, like when you should book your exam, or if you're struggling in a particular area and what you would recommend, what I would recommend for you, then I'm happy to do that. So we try to do some of this free support every now and then. We don't do it so often, but we try our very best here at Swoosh English. So if you do have any questions for me and you want to ask them in the Zoom class, then I'm more than happy to answer them. So this is the new look Swoosh English. And as I said, we are helping lots and lots of students to pass their exams, but we don't want to just help thousands of students now. We want to really increase to 10,000, tens of thousands for IELTS and OET, and even hundreds of thousands in the years ahead. So thank you very much for all the support that you provide us here at Swoosh, for coming along to our classes, for sharing our live class videos. Your support is very, very important to us, and all that our objective is here at Swoosh English, whether it's Alexander, Damien, Russell, Giles, Stephen, Damien, all of these teachers, Fiona, all of our teaching team here at Swoosh, all of the team that we have who work behind the scenes, Angela, Carla, Elizabeth, Andrea, all of these people, we are all here to make your dreams a reality here at Swoosh, to help you pass your exam as quickly as possible, and then to move on and secure a fantastic medical position here in the UK or Australia or whichever English-speaking country you're in. So thank you very much, everyone, and I hope you are excited as I am about these new packages and about how we can help you moving forward. Have a great rest of the day, and I look forward to celebrating your results with you very soon. If you're in the Zoom class, then I'm happy to answer any questions you've got. If you're on Facebook, then you can come along. Packages are not monthly, Rosa. This is one-time price. This is the one-time price that you have to pay. That's it. Gary said, if I take a course, do you mark any mock exams? Yeah, we do. So, for example, the writing corrections are all mock exam related. We do have speaking mock exam classes. In all of our live classes, we do mock exams as well. So we are there to support you. Any news from the NMC about reducing the score? The same as IELTS. Unfortunately, right now, Gary, they said that they're not going to change that score, unfortunately, even after a considerable amount of pressure, shall we say, or us putting together a petition where we've had nearly 10,000 signatures. I think we just need to keep on going forward, keep on pushing forward. If anyone's not aware of what Gary and I are talking about, it's about getting the writing score reduced from a B to a C+, which would be in line with the IELTS writing score, which was reduced recently from a 7 to a 6.5. So unfortunately, right now, that's not been changed to be in line with IELTS. But I hope with your support, Gary, and with everyone else watching, we can help to make that happen very, very soon. So I'll let you know if we receive any further updates about that. So thank you very much to everyone on Facebook. And if you want to ask me any questions about the class, about anything to do with OET, when you should prepare, if you're just at the start of your journey, when you should book your exam, because remember, it's $500 to take the OET exam, and we want to make sure that you're ready and you're not going to go and take exam after exam after exam after exam, because it's very expensive, and it causes the situation where you have to take it so many times that it takes much longer to start your position here in the UK as a doctor or a nurse, or in Australia, or whichever country you're trying to go to. So if you do have any questions for me, come inside the Zoom class. But for everyone on Facebook, thank you so much for coming along today to the classes. For anyone who's just joining and wants to see our courses which start from $49, then you can just click the link here, which I've just put on the Facebook Live, and we will look forward to supporting you to passing your exam. Hoping so. Thanks, said Gary. You're welcome, Gary. Maymolg, thank you. Gary, I'm guessing that's your partner that's struggling with the OET exam. Let me know in the chat box. But yeah, thank you very much for everyone on Facebook Live. But for anyone who's on the Zoom class and wants to ask any questions, then I am more than happy to see how I can best support you. So thank you very much, everyone, and have a great day and have a great weekend as well. Okay, everyone on Zoom, Facebook has now finished. Let's see what people's responses are. Rizwan's one of our doctors. I want a study partner. Definitely, Rizwan, if you can I think we might even have some of our Swoosh doctors in here. Dr. Seema, you're one of our Swoosh doctors. Would you like to be study partners with Dr. Rizwan? Please, if you are interested, I would highly recommend each person to have at least 2 study partners. So if you do want a study partner, Dr. Rizwan, if you can put your email address in there and in the chat box, and also Dr. Seema as well, if you can put your email address. So you've got 2 Swoosh VIP doctors who can work together. We will send an email out later, Dr. Seema, about the new packages. And so yeah, Rizwan and Dr. Seema, put your email addresses in here. Okay, I will put that in there for you. Let's see. Okay, I'll send it to, so I'm not sending it publicly, Dr. Rizwan, I'll send it privately to Dr. Seema. How about that? So Dr. Seema, if you can send an email to Dr. Rizwan. Okay. Okay, so we only, let's see. I'm only matching study partners for the students who are on our VIP program, because there's so many students here right now. It'd be too difficult for me to start matching people up. But if you've paid for a Swoosh English course before, then I'm of course more than happy to match people up. Let's see what people are saying. Okay, Rathna. Hi, Alex. I've taken the OET exam, medicine exam before, and I scored a C+ in writing with 3 Bs. This is a very, very common issue, Rathna. So you've spent $500 and you have to spend another $500. So we want to make sure you pass on your next attempt. My problem with writing was writing until the last minute without checking at the end. Proofreading, Rathner, is very, very important. Okay, proofreading is very, very important. Please, could you suggest me one of your unlimited writing practice courses? Well, yeah, I would suggest, if you want the unlimited writing corrections, that is the, let me just show you here. Okay. This premium package would be the best one for you because you get unlimited corrections in our Facebook group in there. So this is the premium package, okay? And this is what you get included within it. So all the support you could need, especially for writing. And also we've got live corrections classes for writing every Friday. We've got writing corrections, as I said, in the Facebook group. We've got all of our model answer bank of corrected letters. So Rathner, everything is there for you to pass your exam with Swoosh if you're having problems with your writing. Okay, discounted course, Ahmed. He's asking, how can I get your discounted course? Ahmed, we cannot go any cheaper than $49, my friend. It's the cheapest that we've ever done. And also, we are an OET premium preparation provider, and we are the cheapest premium preparation provider that I know of right now. So that's the cheapest I can go. For the examination, it's $500 for the exam. So if you bought, it's really cheap, said Seema. Absolutely, Seema. So I can't be offering any cheaper than that. So Ahmed, $49 is only 10%. Is only 10% of the cost of the $500 exam. So if we were to help you with a $49 course and you passed your exam first time, that means you've only spent $550 total. But if you take the exam by yourself once and pay $500, you do self-study like a lot of students do, which I never recommend, because only a minority of students can pass their exam by themselves. I'd say a small percent, like 2%. 98% of students need help, okay? They need practice exams, writing corrections, video courses, live classes, all of these things. So if you take the exam $500 by yourself and you don't pay for any course and you fail, then you have to take it again, which is another $500, which is $1,000 total. And then you should probably take a course. So then you're paying maybe a lot of money for a course, and then you have to, if you don't pass on the second attempt, you have to pay another $500. So you see that not only are you spending a lot more money, but you're spending a lot more time, and also you are further and further away from your goal of working in the UK or Australia. And the salaries and everything else that you can get is there for you. So please send a link. Yep, I will send the link again to you all. Oh, not that one. I actually think that I didn't put it in the correct box. Oh, I didn't put it in the correct box. I apologize, everyone. Okay, here is the correct box. Okay, sorry about that. Okay, so these are the brand new packages. Mention the price for premium OET medicine course, please. Yeah, it's $279, Rathner. So you get unlimited support with us until you pass. There's no limit on the program available. But most of our students pass between. We've had students passing in 2 or 3 weeks, but generally, I'd say on average, I would say 2 to 3 months would be the average time a student takes to pass. Like I said, it could take a shorter time, it could take a longer time, depending on many factors. Rizwan, I have the OET exam on the 7th of July. I've had 2 attempts before. What did you fail on, Dr. Rizwan, the first time? What did you fail on? Let me know. Okay. Any questions about whether you should book your exam? Which areas are you facing difficulty with passing? Which are your weak areas? What kind of recommendations do you need? How many hours per day are you studying? Because if you're only studying once a week, for example, it's going to be very difficult for you to pass. Okay, so reading and listening, Rizwan. Dr. Rizwan, well, you've recently joined our OET course. So because you recently joined that course, you are able to get practice mock examinations. You've got the live classes, the live lesson recordings. You've got all of that available to you. Okay, so you've got a lot of support there for reading and listening, and you can take those mock exams again and again and again. Pardon me, if you want to get more and more support. And the other thing is, after you've taken the reading and listening course, after you've taken the reading and listening mock exam, then you can watch the analysis videos afterwards. So these are videos of us assessing the questions and answers and what you could have done to improve. Okay, yeah, as you mentioned before, Dr. Seema said, as you mentioned before, Alex, consistency and regular practice is the key point. I absolutely agree. I need more mock exams, Rizwan. We've given you 6, Dr. Rizwan, which is the most available for OET right now. So 6 is available, Dr. Rizwan. So you can use those. How many times have you practiced with all 6 mock exams? And the other thing, Dr. Rizwan, is you should not just be focusing on the practice materials for OET, but you need to practice with non-OET materials. YouTube videos you can listen to, podcasts you can listen to. There's lots of things available for medical journals. You can watch TV programs about medicine. There's lots of things you can do outside of OET as well to improve your English reading and listening ability day by day. Okay. Abiodun Alisu, I need help with passing, listening, reading, and writing, please. Okay, well, our packages are there for you, Abidun, if you want to get more support to pass on your next attempt, if it's your first time. Dr. Nonya, my challenge is in reading, especially with time management. Have you been through all of the pre-practice mock exams that we gave you, Nonya? Please let me know. We've given you 6. Rizwan, all of the links we've already previously provided to you. So you've already got access to all of that. You've got the learning platform. So go to the learning platform with your login and password that you created yourself when you bought the course. So I know you started with IELTS and then you moved to OET. So you've already got those login details. If you've forgotten your password, just go to the learning platform and put your email address in and then click forgot password. And then the password will go back to your email and you can reset the password. You're very welcome, Dr. Rizwan. Saga, I'm good in listening and reading, just want your help in writing. Well, the packages, if you're looking just for writing, the packages are there for you. So just go to the links that I provided. I'll provide them again. You can choose which one is best for you. Okay. Oh, Dr. Seema said, Dr. Rizwan, I've already sent you an email. Fantastic, Seema. So Dr. Rizwan, you can check. Okay. Abidun, I'm sitting for the May exam. Well, you need help very, very quickly if you want to pass first time, because a lot of students who've got their exam next month, they've spoken to me and they take their exam 2 or 3 weeks later, and they continue with free self-studying. They don't buy a course. A lot of those students don't get the results they're looking for, and then they have to take the exam again, which is another $500. So I don't want you to do that. Okay, any questions, anything you're not sure about, anything at all about OET, when you should take your exam, recommendations, why you're failing in reading, writing, listening, speaking, etc., please let us know. Not necessarily about tips, because we will go through all of that in our courses, and obviously we've gone through a lot of it today in the OET class, but anything to do with your preparation or anything to do with when you should take your exam, etc., or how best to use the next few weeks to prepare for your examination. Any questions at all, please let me know. Anything at all, let me know. Who have we got in the class? We've got Umi, Ayman, Khalid, Abiodun, Ahmed, Gida, Hafsa, Irish, Jello, Jayothis, Kong, Muna, Engeline, Nonya, Noor, Nora, Rathna, Rizwan, Saad, Sagar, Sajitha, Shija, Seema, too many to mention. Dear Alex, your great enthusiasm is a strong motivator for us. Thank you very much, Seema. I appreciate your nice comment there. So I think that's pretty much everything. I'm probably going to leave the class in a minute, but you can go ahead and have a look at those packages if you're looking to get help from an OET premium preparation provider and you want to pass your exam as soon as possible. So other than that, everyone, if you've got any further questions after this, just send us an email at support@swooshenglish.com, and either myself or one of the team will do our very best to help you to pass your examination. So thank you very much for coming along to the class today, everybody, and I look forward to helping you with your examination and helping you to pass. So thank you very much and have a great rest of the day. Thank you so much, highly appreciated. You're very welcome, Rathna, and let us know if we can support you with your writing, because if we could support you with your writing, what would that mean to you if you could pass your exam? Maybe you've got a job offer right now in the UK. Maybe your employers are getting impatient because they want you to pass as soon as possible. Ahmed Mohammed said, thank you. You're very welcome. Okay, have a great rest of the day, everybody, and keep on the studying. And Engeline said, thank you. Alex, you're very welcome. But yeah, keep on the studying, keep working hard. And remember, if you don't choose Swoosh English for your courses, that's fine, no problem. But I would highly recommend you to join another OET premium preparation provider out there, okay? Because it's very difficult to pass this exam by yourself. And for the sake of a small amount of money, to go with a good school, a good teacher, it's well worth the investment in yourself, okay? I spend thousands of pounds on myself, on investing in my education, my growth as a person. So when you pay for a course, you're more invested, you're more committed, you're more likely to do the hard work, even after a 12-hour shift, and then you will be able to go in your exam with much more confidence than you have previously if you've taken your exam before. So invest in yourself, find a school, find a teacher if you don't choose Swoosh English. I won't feel bad about it, but what I would feel bad about is if you continue to do free self-study and not pass your examination and keep paying for more and more and more exams. So thank you very much, everyone. Have a great rest of the day, and I look forward to celebrating your success with you when you get your results in the near future. Thank you so much.